Hello everyone, this is teacher Patricia and welcome to this video lesson. To get started, let's read this passage from World Health Organization. Between 2030 and 2050, climate change is expected to cause approximately 250,000 additional deaths per year from malnutrition, malaria, diarrhea, and heat stress alone. The direct damage costs to health are estimated to be between $2 to $4 billion per year by 2030. Very alarming, isn't it? But we are not going to be talking about this disaster right now. I want to know your opinion, but later. I want to draw your attention to these verbs I highlighted yellow. This construction is what we call passive voice. And this is what we will be talking about today in this lesson. The passive voice is very commonly used in the news to describe processes and procedures. And if you want to avoid personal involvement, the passive voice is also very welcome. It's more formal and more common in written tasks, but it doesn't mean that you can't use in a spoken language. Of course, you can use in a spoken language. But we use this construction because we wanted to focus on the topic or the theme, because we think that the person or the thing that receives the action is more important than who does the action, the doer. Also because the doer is not known, or as I said, we consider not important to be on the spotlight in that moment. But we can mention who does the action. Look, in the passive voice, when I want to mention who does something or who did something, the agent, I can do it by using this structure. By plus the agent, just like this example we have here. The UK oil and gas regulator's decision was condemned by Green Party MP Caroline Lucas as the greatest act of environmental vandalism in my lifetime. Now, let's take a look at how we form the passive voice in the present and in the past. In fact, there is no difference in the structure, in the form of the passive voice, but the conjugation of verb to be changes according to the time we are saying, according to the tense. If it's in the present, verb to be goes in the present. If it's past, verb to be goes in the past. Yeah, but the rest of the structure will remain the same. Now let's see the same sentences in the active voice. Let's compare these structures in the present. Look at where the agent is in the active voice and where it goes in the passive voice. Observe that in the passive voice, as we said before, it comes after the preposition by. In the active voice, it comes in the very beginning of the sentence because it is the subject. But as I said, when we choose to use the passive voice, we want to focus on what is done, not on who does something. Now let's take a look at the structures of the passive voice and active voice in the past. Observe that it happens exactly the same. The agent in the active voice is the subject of the sentence. However, in the passive voice, the agent comes after the preposition by and it goes to the end of the sentence. Now let's take a look at some other ways of forming the passive voice with the modal verbs. And here you'll see the active form and the passive voice, as you already know, will be formed by verb to be plus a participle verb. Let's take a look at some examples. With the modal verb will, I promise it will be finished soon. Verb to be with will be, and participle, will be finished. Can do, can you guess? Can be done. They can be arrested by the police. Can be, that's verb to be, with the modal verb can be arrested, and should. Well done. Should be done. Actions should be taken now. So again, what changes is verb to be when we are using the passive voice. The participle verb will always assume the participle form. Okay, but what is the participle verb? What is the participle form? Well, if it's a regular verb, okay, it's the construction with ed. But if it's an irregular verb, it's the third column, the same construction, the same verb we use for the present perfect. So now I want to know your opinion. What urgent actions should be taken to help save the planet? Well, I think a lot of measures should be taken right away by governments, by us, by companies. What do you think? Okay, for further practice and consolidation, tap on the links you'll find on the worksheet of this lesson. Don't miss any of our live lessons so then we can practice this in context. And thank you very much for watching. See you in class. Bye.